This podcast recorded live from the Urban Fly Company studio.
On so we can get this thing wrapped up. I did a little wiper fishing yesterday. Ron said he hadn't been out of the house in a while. Had been, you know how you can get a little annoyed with things that you might otherwise not have got annoyed with if you had maybe a decent day out, just a few hours out on the water where you can just really get that reset.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he needed. So he texted me and said, "Hey, let's go out wiper fishing." I was like, "Hey, I'm sure. Why not?"
I'm into that.
Yeah, I like that. That's fun. We went. There's just no water right now, so I don't think the bigger fish have even the room or feel very. They're not going to be there right now because they feel pressured. You'll see them. It's so low. You know what I mean? They can really hunker down probably, but I mean still, I just don't think they feel very safe in that situation right now. So, we were still fishing along, and I was throwing a decent sized fly, probably 4-inch fly, 3.5-inch, 4-inch fly, leggy boy, but with some lead eyes up top on a bent shank. It's worked really well for me, and I was catching some small hybrids. We caught like 10, 12 smaller hybrids that were all, I don't know, probably 15 inches, and they had an elongated body, not the let's say like pan-shaped body. So I think they were hybrids. I hope they were, for the sake of the future of the hybrids in that area. It'd be great if there were that many around, and you could see them. I scare the bait off the bank, and they would shoot out into the water, and all of a sudden you just see a blitz of them just blah, 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 blah. You'd see splashes everywhere. I was casting to them. They just weren't having it. But, it was a fun day. He caught a carp. He was throwing a smaller fly, and he was catching a lot of them too on a 1.5-inch fly.
Wow.
Real small fly. He's more of a trouty guy. Casts way better than his son, I'll tell you that. He sure was. I was like, man, you're throwing loops, man. Y'all have to get you out on the boat. Have to teach your son how to cast off the boat next time. Tell him, give him some lessons.
Who's his son?
Devin.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I definitely threw some shade at Devin.
I just wanted it on the air.
Yeah, so. We had a good time out there. Like I said, we were catching fish. But he hooked the carp. The carp was peeling, It was decent sized carp, probably 5-pound carp.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still he was getting dogged for a second. He was like, I think it's catfish. I was like, it probably is the way it's fighting. And nope, and I saw it and I'm like, no, it's carp. So it was cool though. Yeah, it was fun. At least he got one good tug. And I wasn't mad at pulling little fish in. I wish I would have taken a 5-weight, but you never know, that'd be the time you hook that one 10-pounder and he snaps your 5-weight in half or whatever happens, and I don't know.
Or you kill it because you fought it too long.
Yeah, having a 7-weight, I like the wolf rods. They're a little stiffer. I can really put the corks to them and pull them in quick. So especially in this time of year, where there is no water and there isn't much oxygenation.
Ooh, nailed it.
In the water. So Jason and I had one experience where one did die. Yeah. And it was just a misfortunate thing.
I'm always one for rodding up. Like my dad fishes on the Cape of 9-weight and he gives me crap for fishing a 10-weight. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to kill these fish. Right? Like A, I don't want to fight the wind. B, I can launch this 10-weight. C, if I catch a good sized fish, I can bring it in and release it. So, like, I'm always one for, even when we go redfish fishing, wherever we go, I usually rod up. Because the difference between a 7 and an 8 isn't going to give you a heck of a much different fight, but it is going to save you 30 seconds to a minute of not killing that fish, flooding it with lactic acid or whatever.
Not only that, if you do hook into a trophy-sized fish, it's nice knowing that you're rodded up. You get a little bit more confidence fighting that fish as well.
Yeah. And Mark's seen it. I think you guys might have seen it. I put the wood to fish. When I hook a fish, I'm bringing that thing in. The only person I know that might be a little more heavy-handed than me is Damien. Damien fights a fish like that fish is coming in on now.
The only thing about the hybrids, there really isn't you can once you get them to the reel, but there's no playing tug of war. You're not playing tug of war with this fish. that fish is going to go, and then you're going to get it to the reel, and then that's when you can really put some side pressure to it and really start to work a fish, as much as you can. And muskie are totally different. Muskie, you can, it is a tug of war. You're trying to gain line as much as they'll give you the line to gain, and you're pulling that fish, and it's different, a little different. But for those, it's, hold them, and then you can really start to put the corks to them, get down into the butt of that, rod, and really put the side pressure on them. And I didn't always believe in the side pressure thing as much, but it does work.
Yeah.
And it'll cut a fight down a little bit.
My little brother is a let them run, let them fight kind of guy, and I'm like, dude, put the wood to him, crank that drag down, and get that fish in, because it's gonna die, and there's no reason for it to die.
I think that comes with, even like with me, when you haven't caught, so many.
Yeah, because there's so much pressure, right?
Well, you take it easier on them because you want to make sure you get it in. Make sure you don't want to break it off or have that chance. But once you've caught so many, you're like, all right, let's put the corks in. Let's try to get them in a little bit more.
Certain species though, like those salmon, like you were talking about earlier tonight, like the king salmon, you can't put the screws to them. They will clean. They will take you for a run, and they will blow your line right off.
Like, and when you can.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you got to get right to that point, right? So depends on species sometimes, though. Putting the corks to them, though.
Well, and the good thing about a king salmon is that fish is already dead.
Right.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at SVS Fishing. And please subscribe to our podcast, the SVS Fly Fishing Podcast, on your favorite podcast app.